I have the new GoPro here today, so this is the new Hero 10. I'm gonna try this out, film this video in this. I'll be working on the doors and trying to prep these up. These are the two doors that I just picked up recently. They are overall pretty clean. There are a couple of scratches over here in this one, a couple smaller ones down here, and there's two dings somewhere in here that I'm gonna have to find that I'll have to prep first. So this is the driver door. And then we also have the rear door right here on the driver's side. This one I didn't see any significant damage on, maybe a little bit down at the bottom, a couple scratches. But I'm gonna get these prepped up and try to find the two dents on this door, and then we can start sanding these. These are the only two dents that I could find in this driver's side door. They are still very small dents. You can't hardly tell or see them, but I just have them circled here. What I'm gonna do is just take a little bit of masking tape around this area. Same thing with this one. I'll sand out this middle part right here, sand it down a little bit, try to get down to that metal, and then I can go ahead and take some primer filler, fill these in just so that way I'm not gonna have any dents or any hiccups with these doors. They're gonna come out looking nice and smooth. These are all taped off in the areas where the damage is. I have a 150 grit sandpaper. I'm just gonna put this on the block here and just go to work. I'm doing crisscross hatch patterns, and I'm just gonna keep this confined to this one small area as I can. So once you go one way, try to go the other way, and just work your way down until you get to that bare metal, and then we can repair this area. I've been sanding for about 20 seconds or so now, and you can already see this color starting to form right here. This tells me that I've gone through both the clear coat, base coat, and I'm probably close to the primer or maybe even the bare metal. So once you start to get this color change from the actual color of your car, that means you're about all the way through your paint. And I'm just gonna go ahead and finish up the rest of this area right here, making sure it's all gonna be the same color right here. This is what it should look like when it's all done. We're all the way down to bare metal here, and this is what's gonna allow the actual Bondo to stick to it. If you don't sand down far enough, then it's not gonna be able to stick to it. So this side's good. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this side up and work on sanding the rest of everything here, and then we'll get these filled in. Everything's sanded down on both of these. I'm gonna go ahead, remove this tape, and we can take all these off. And then I'm gonna start, since I don't have the Bondo right now, I'm just gonna start prepping the rest of this whole door. I am gonna need to remove this door handle. I'll take the mirror off, and I'll take the inside panel off too here shortly. Removal of this door lock first. You're gonna come around inside here. There's this little access panel. You'll just get in here with like a screwdriver or something to pry this up. Then inside you have a little, I believe it's a hex key. For the size of this is a Torx 20. You'll just fit it inside of this hole right here. Keep loosening it, and eventually this will start to wiggle. Once this wiggles, you can lift this other handle up, and this will pull on out just like that. To remove the rest of this door handle, I already had that cylinder lock out. The rest of this is pretty easy. You're just going to grab this and you're going to push it this way, and it will slide just like so. Once you have this back and it's as far as it can go back, you'll pull this out, and as you can see, we just cleared right there, and then we just have this front part. So you'll just keep pulling it out, and you're going to move this back, and it will just fall out just like that. I'm gonna take this inside door panel off now so I can get this out of the way. There's this black plastic piece in here that'll need to come out. For getting this inside door trim piece off so I can remove this panel, you're just gonna take, I have a hook right here, come in behind this plastic piece, and it should pull on out. All right, that piece is now out. So we have one, it looks like Phillips screw right there. And then we also have a bolt right there as well that we're gonna need to take out. Since this piece is already removed, we're just gonna take like a pry bar, a big screwdriver, start wedging in between all these creases along the outside where there's clips on both sides that run all the way down and around. So I'm just gonna get behind it and we'll pry it out. Before you can actually remove this, I have all these sides loose and off. There was still something that was holding, and it's actually, there's a little cover piece that goes down in here. I removed that. and there is an 8mm bolt right there that needs to get taken out before this can get removed. There's a couple clips you're gonna have to remove in here. This side, so we'll have this one right here. This is just a push clip. You push this in and then you pull it. That'll remove that one. And then these just threaded through here. There's like an actual part. This is for your window control module, unlock, lock. So this will need to get disconnected once you actually pop that piece off, if it did have it in. And then we just have these door handles right here. So these ones, these have like that throttle body cable thing. So I'll start with this top one here. This is going to get pushed up, and once that comes out of the place where it slides in these grooves, then you can come over to here, and this will need to turn until it reaches the point where it can come free. The inside door cover piece is now off the car. One of the things I'm going to do while I have this off, as you can see, this harness over here is completely cut, clean, flush off. So I'm going to have to take an old one that I have that has the harness that is still good. This is what it's supposed to be like when it connects to the car door. And I have the whole entire wiring harness right here. So I'm going to remove this pain in the butt wiring harness here, which entails removing every single one of these door panel bolts right here to get underneath this access cover, because this last wiring harness right here clips into a piece that's underneath, and in order to get access to that, this whole thing needs to come off. So let's get started on removing this. All of the surrounding bolts are now off of the inside cover. It is loose, you can see that. There is still something holding it from this top side over here, and it feels like over here it just won't break loose yet, so I'll try to figure out what's holding it on. I just need to get this cover piece off so I can get this last clip undone for the harness. The rest of the harness is off. I just need to get it off of right here and take that part off. But I'm gonna try to figure out how to remove the rest of this. Over here, there are two screws on the back side of this wire harness. These are a 7/32 that I'm just gonna get on these with the ratchet real quick and remove them. I'm gonna remove all of these weather stripping pieces right here. So the easiest way to remove these is they have these little clips under them. You push them one way, it's gonna come off one side. If you pull it hard enough, and then you pull it back the other way, and that's the clip. Since we are repainting the whole thing, I'm gonna be removing everything on this and doing an actual proper job. I'm gonna be taking this piece from the inside out. This just slides right on out. Obviously take this off, get the mirror off, see what we got going on up here. Looks like this is a little push pin that comes out, and then I'll be able to pull off this top piece right here, and which comes over to here. Another push pin right there. Looks like that'll allow me to get this piece off. And then we'll have this other weather stripping piece right here. It's also held in by a couple push pins by the looks of it. We do have another weather stripping on the bottom. Looks like that's the same method put on as this one here. And then I'm also gonna take these bolts off over here so I can get these brackets out too as well. We're gonna take off the black trim piece right here that goes all the way across, right underneath the windshield. This does come off. It connects right here on the ends. If you get underneath this with the screwdriver, you can start to pry this up. It's kind of stuck on here actually pretty good, but once you get it started, it will go all the way across. You just gotta be really careful when you lift this up not to crease it, because it will bend and you're not gonna be able to get that bend back out. This is as far as I'm gonna go with the door, as far as taking pieces off that I can think of right now. I'm just gonna start wiping down all these dirty spots back here, and I'm gonna go ahead and take that a Brillo pad, just a red Brillo pad, just like this. This is like a 400 grit, and I'm just gonna start sanding the inside of this. Inside doesn't need to be perfect. You're not really gonna see it anyways. So just take the clear coat off, make sure there's no shine, and sand it down enough so that way the paint will actually stick to it. I'm just now starting to sand this out. Got the Brillo pad. Just gonna be working on taking off this shine and giving the base coat something to stick to. I got most of the inside of this one sanded down with that Brillo pad. It's all scuffed up nice and neatly. This whole side is, underside, that side, and also up here, even though you won't see it. Still gonna do it anyways. I'm just gonna go ahead, this is the driver rear door. I'm gonna go ahead, take this handle off too as well. Take this trim piece off, the inner trim piece off, and I'm gonna go ahead and start prepping the inside of this one. It's time to prep the outside of these doors. I had the 2 spots that I sanded out where the dents were. They're super minor dents, and I'm just gonna be filling these in with a little bit of Bondo. I also do have this scratch right here, and that is the only damage that I could find on this door. So I'm gonna start by working on sanding this area down right here. I have some 150 grit sandpaper. Just gonna put that on a block and just kind of work this area around here. Give this a nice surface for the actual glazing putty to stick to. Here's the putty that I'm talking about that I'm gonna use. Just glazing and spot putty from Bondo. I'm actually gonna also use this for these as well, just because they are such minor spots. I think that this will be just fine for those. Same thing over here. There's no repairs that I can see on this door, so I don't think I'm gonna be using Bondo anywhere on it. But I'm just gonna start by repairing the damages over here, and then I can go ahead and block sand the rest of the whole thing. I'm just taking a little bit of acetone cleaner, and I'm gonna clean up these spots that I just sanded down. That spot putty I was gonna use is no good, so we resorted back over to just this regular body filler. I have a tiny bit laid out here just on this piece of cardboard, and I'm about to add some hardener down. So since it's a small amount, we're just gonna put a little bit of hardener on there. Yeah, that'll do. Go ahead and mix this up really good. Once you got this mixed in really good, we're just gonna take a small amount, just like so, and just lay this down right in our repair spot. Try to do it as smoothly as possible, just so that way you don't have to do a lot of sanding. But just fill this area. While I'm waiting for these spots to harden up, I have some 320 grit, and I'm just going to start block sanding this entire part. I may need to take this decal off down here first before I can sand this area. For the decals on these doors, I found the best way to do this is to just take a razor blade and just come up underneath the corner slowly. Don't put a whole lot of pressure on it, and I'm slowly starting to get underneath it, pushing it up a little bit. Keep going, keep going. Just watch the angle of your actual razor, and then once you have this started, you can go ahead and just kind of peel it, and if it does break off on you, then you can restart with that razor blade. But this seems to be working pretty well, so I'm gonna go ahead, peel this off. There we go. It's coming off pretty nice and cleanly here with this one.